Thank you, dear listeners, for taking out time to tune in to another episode of The Spark. We are committed to bringing you the most captivating stories of some professionals, unveiling the challenging transitions and secrets to their successful journeys to guide your career path. My name is Mabel Shu, and I am your host. In today's episode, we'll be talking to Michael Kumordzi Tetteh. Michael is a self-taught designer, a digital marketer, and communications practitioner. And he currently works as the campaigns and communications officer at the West Africa Drug Policy Network. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Muriel.
Welcome to my podcast, and it's great to have you here today.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you.
And you remember as a kid, there's always this question they ask us, what do you want to do when you grow up? So I would like you to share with us what you wanted to do. What was your response to that question when you were a kid?
Interesting. Growing up, they ask us, what do you want to do? Some of us do not really have answers. We only go, I want to be a teacher. Some will say, I want to be a doctor. But all those were just a mere saying. But growing up, I wanted to be a Roman father.
A what?
A Catholic priest.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I wanted to be a Catholic priest.
Interesting. What was it that motivated you to want to become a priest at that young age?
Yeah, I think most of the things that we're saying in the society, they say when you have vocational skills, you could become a priest.
Right.
But then I was looking at it from humanity angle. I was looking at it from a humanity angle because I could cook.
Okay.
I'm a good cook.
You still are a good cook, or you were a good cook?
No, I'm still a good cook. So I wanted to be a Roman father at that time. Even though I used to draw, I'm an artist, I used to draw, but at a point, the notion behind someone being a designer, so I dropped it along the way. I couldn't draw. As it stands now, there's no way I can draw because I've lost that talent.
Skill.
Yep. So I wanted to be a priest because of humanity's sake.
Okay. Was it influence from your parents or society that made you drop off the drawing, or like what exactly happened that you did not decide to choose that path anymore at that age?
At that age, so it's actually societal influence.
Right.
I mean, my parents did not really have influence in terms of what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
My dad, for once, is a multi-talented person.
Right.
So we picked after our dad. My dad can do a carpentry, he can build, he's a hunter, he has that brave heart, even though I don't have the brave heart. So they don't really stop us from doing anything. They give us that free space to do things. But from society influence, or people who do graphic design, I mean, we didn't know it was a graphic design path.
Right.
They always say visual art students are always Kubolo students.
Are always what?
Yeah, they are always Kubolo.
What does
Kubolo
that
means someone who finds him or herself on the street.
Oh,
So
ghetto
right. Lifestyle. So
Okay.
it's those people who do those courses. That was how come I dropped it.
Oh, okay. And so moving on after that, currently you work as a campaigns and communications officer. So do you want to take us through the moments, that aha moments when you realize that, oh, maybe this reverend fatherhood thing is not for me and I would like to do something different? Just take us to that period. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, what happened was the opportunity came for me to go to the Roman school to become a priest. In school, senior high, when I went to senior high, that was when I realized that, oh no, boy, there's no way you can become a priest. So back home, when the opportunity came, because it was something that I told the church, my parents were also aware of it.
Oh, really?
So
you
when
already informed the church?
Yes. So when the opportunity came, most of the church elders they knew that I was the one going to take up the opportunity. So when my senior brother said, oh, he was the one going for it, they said, no, your kid brother says he's the one who wants to be a priest, so why not? So when I went back home, they called me and they said the opportunity is in what you wanted to do. I used to went to do it. I was like, oh no, there's no way I would do it. And they said my senior brother wants it, so should they give it to him? I was like, okay, yeah, give it to him because I don't see myself becoming a priest.
So, considering the fact that both of you, yourself and your brother, wanted to become priest, was there any rivalry between you people at a young age?
Okay, so my senior brother, we did not go to the same school. He
Okay.
was living in Accra. I was back there in Ko. So we have not had that conversation before.
Mhm.
So when he came to where we were staying, I think there was no day that we've ever had that conversation.
Okay.
I also heard about it. Was a shock to me when he said he wanted to be a priest. I was like, oh, okay, since I didn't get it, I didn't want to do it. Why not he doing it?
So you gave up on that dream because your brother was also pursuing the same thing?
Not because I had already made the decision not to become a priest.
Okay, so when exactly did you make that decision? And
When I was in SHS,
So
senior
what-
high school,
what provoked you into changing the decision?
I realized there were a lot of career
Okay.
out there.
Okay.
So why then do I have to put myself in a box
And compete with
and
your
compete?
brother.
And then I became aware of the things I have to do. I won't give birth. I love kids, and
Right.
if I won't give birth, I mean, I don't need to go into it. So, I mean,
Okay.
those were some of the
Interesting.
factors that pushed me away.
Alright. And when you came to that realization, how did it make you feel? Were you kind of disappointed, or were you happy? Were you looking forward to starting this new path?
Disappointment? No, I wasn't disappointed in a way. I was actually happy when my brother said he was
Okay.
the one going for it.
Yeah.
And to me, I think I have to do everything possible to make myself happy.
Yeah.
So it wasn't much of a disappointment because I know the task ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And once I wouldn't be able to do it, there's no need for me to force myself.
Okay. And did you have a mentor to guide you through this new decision you made?
Unfortunately for us who have lived in the rural areas, when you mention mentor, it's just like a word.
It's a strange
Yes,
word.
it's a strange word.
Yeah.
I've schooled in the rural areas all my life.
Mm.
It was only university that I came for Accra. So, I mean, having a mentor,
You
no.
didn't know.
Uh, well, if we should say close mentor, then probably I would say my dad.
Okay.
My dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you think if you had a mentor, as in career wise, if you had a mentor, do you think that you would have been where you are today, or do you think you would have been in a better position than where you are today?
Well, I wouldn't be here, but I wouldn't say a better position because I find the current thing that I'm doing as something that I love to do.
Okay, you're passionate
It's a
about
passionate,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
And if I've had a mentor, I think the mentor would have allowed me to do business instead of communication. Yeah,
Why
because
do
back
you
in
think so?
SHS, most teachers they were like, Michael, you have to do business, you have to do business. And I
Oh,
was
so
like,
you
no.
had some entrepreneurial
Yeah,
skills back
kind
then.
of, yeah.
Oh, then that's a lot of skills you had. So, now looking at the fact that you moved from wanting to become a priest to communications and designing, what were some of the challenges you had to encounter? Because I understand that this also comes with maybe like a change of skill.
Yeah.
So, what were some of the challenges you encountered, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, some of the challenges are, I mean, as a communication person or as a designer, you need some tools to work with, having a laptop to even practice whatever you want to do. I one day walked to one of my seniors. I mean, when I've worked for over 4 years before going back to university, because I still wanted to go to university. Even at that time, I was deciding to do business. But when I got to the campus, I was like, no, let me just do communications because I still have that passion for it. So challenges were having the tools, even to start with, what tool am I going to use? I didn't even have anybody to guide me through. So there was this senior whose name is Daniel Pepra, who I approached that, you know what, anytime I want someone to design for me, I don't get the design, it doesn't come. So what are some of the tools that I can use to start designing? He said, oh, we have Photoshop, we have CorelDRAW. So which one would you want to use? I was like, okay, which one do you have? he has the Photoshop. He said installing it was kind of complicated. Will I be able to do it? I told him he shouldn't worry. He should just give it to me. I'll do the trial and see if it works. If it doesn't work, I'll come back to him. So challenges has to do with the machine that you have to even use, and then a few things, getting someone to take you through the design and all those things.
See, now it goes back to maybe if there was a mentor, maybe it would have been easier.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you remember you said you had the church was aware of the fact that you wanted to become a priest?
Yeah.
How did the church take it when you decided that you no longer want to become a priest?
I think because I left the town to school, so probably they understood. Well, I have not sat down to it's actually an assumption because growing up, I've always been a church rat, what people call church mouse.
You say you've always been?
Yeah, I've always been.
Does that mean you stopped?
Yeah, I've stopped going to church.
Okay. We'll talk about conversations for another day.
I've always been a church rat. Right. I go for rally. In Catholic, we have what we call rally, youth rally. We go for youth rally. I've represented my church in so many ways. So to me, honestly, till today, I don't know if it's a surprise to them. I've not really asked them what they felt when I said I wasn't going to do it. But I think because it was still my brother who was going to do it, so they still kind of like felt
like a form of consolation for them.
Yes.
Okay. So now with your current role, with the current skills you have, do you have any regrets regarding the decision you made moving from wanting to become a priest to communication? Do you have any regrets?
No.
If you were to go back maybe 10 years, 15 years, and you had to make a decision, would you still?
Yeah, I would have still made a decision to be what I'm doing now because I really enjoy what I'm doing now. Being a designer, I consider myself to be a jack of all trades, a master of many.
Right. Master of many.
Yeah, so I think I enjoy what I do. I don't really have any regrets. No, I don't have any regrets.
Okay.
Even though what I'm doing, I still want to do more.
Yeah.
I still want to go beyond what I'm doing. I've always wanted to be behind a camera, bigger camera, in a bigger auditorium where I'll be the one controlling, or probably be in the control room. I mean, making sure everything is all right. So I don't really have any regrets.
Okay, that's nice to know. And with the recent experience, with the experiences you've had, with all the skills you've developed, what is the one thing you find most rewarding, or what is one of your greatest accomplishments so far?
I mean, being able to do multitask.
You enjoy multitasking?
No, I don't really enjoy it, but being able to have things delivered on time.
Okay.
You know, there are times where you want something to be done. It doesn't mean that I don't need assistance. I sometimes wish I have someone who will be assisting me doing that, but I find it interesting and I find it rewarding to be able to do design, also write, be able to go online, publish it, be able to get things, pieces and make them in full. So I really, really, really find that rewarding, being able to do things on my own.
Okay, that's nice to know. So I know there's a couple of people out there who are also struggling with identifying the areas they are good at, identifying their passion. Yours came to you easily, I think, because it's something you were passionate about. But there are some people too who are also trying to switch, and you see sometimes people are switching from one career to the other because they are trying to find that thing they are passionate about. They are trying to find that thing that they are good at. So looking at your story, looking at the transitions you've had to make, is there anything you would like to say to people like this who are, it doesn't necessarily have to be trying to switch from one career to the other, but just people who are trying to get their ground, their feet on the ground, and people who are trying to get stability in this area? What would you like to tell them? Words of encouragement, advice, anything?
Yeah, there are a lot of advice out there. We live in an information era where there are a lot of information. But then what I would want to tell people out there, people who are listening, people who find themselves locked up in few things they do, is focus.
Right.
You need to be focused on what you are doing. there are certain things that would come easily to you when you are able to find your way around multiple things. But if you are not focused, you might be able to reach your destination where this is what you have to do. But because you were not focused on what you were doing, you couldn't learn anything from what you passed through.
Right.
So focus is one.
Yeah.
And being able, you also have to be determined. You need to be determined. Now we find ourselves in a space where you can take 10 university students, ask them, 7 out of 10 do not know what their career path is. They don't know what they want to do.
Oh yes, that's very true.
They don't know what they want to do. And sometimes there are a lot of information. So you have to go in out there to pick it with a mentor or without a mentor. You always have to find something doing, and focus, determination is one thing that you shouldn't leave behind.
And just based on what you said, it's true that even if you have a mentor and you don't even know what it is you want to do, the mentor can barely do anything to guide you because they are there to guide you based on what you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, it's going to be difficult for a mentor to do anything. Thank you very much, Michael, for sharing this with us. And one of the things I picked out from this conversation is the need to remain focused and the need to always be determined. Whatever it is you want to do, you have to stay determined. All right. Thank you very much, Michael. And to all the listeners out there, thank you very much for listening. And we're hoping that you will join us in the next episode, which will be coming out soon. And until then, don't give up.